So I write a lot about Toronto history, and one of my favorite tools when I'm writing is the Toronto City Directory. It can be overwhelming at the outset of something like this when you're thinking, how do I even find this out? But there are all kinds of tools, and there's, the City Archives is a great resource, the Toronto Library is awesome, and there's a lot of stuff that's online. I always run names through the Toronto Star Archives. Toronto Public Library has digitized the city directories, and they're online, I think, to 1969. So what that means is that you can go and you can find out who's living at a house in a certain year. So for this story, I'm trying to track items in a time capsule to eras of home ownership. So I went through and looked at who was living at this home on Atlas Avenue, and I just kept a list every year. And I started to see certain names that were reflected in the time capsule. There was one family, the Knox family, that lived there during the Second World War. And I found an obituary for Mrs. F. Knox. And in her obituary, it talked about her daughter. She had married a man named Coolidge. And it was interesting because someone who lived in the house later was also named Alan Coolidge. And so that was the link. And I thought, this is probably, the same family over different generations. And as I found out, that's exactly what it was. All these tools are out there, and increasingly they're online, so you don't even have to leave, your home. But it's always a lot of fun to go to the archives, and I always love doing that. But there's so many ways to find out. Not always the solutions to historical mysteries, but I just try and get as close as I can. And I'm always shocked at the things that you can find that are out there.